Hello, everybody, and welcome to Where Mighty Things. This is episode number 14, recorded on September 19th. My name is Dustin. I'm your host, and I'm excited to be back with you guys. Well, shiver me timbers, everybody. Today be International Talk Like a Pirate Day, and there be no better way to introduce me co-captain, the one and only Blackbeard John Madigan. How be ye, John Madigan?
Arr, Dustin Klingman. How are you, my friend?
I was thinking of a pirate's favorite letter. Do you know what it be?
Arr.
Wrong. It'd be C. All right. That's enough of all that stuff. How you doing, John?
I'm doing great, my friend. How are you?
I'm still stuck in pirate mode.
When was the last time you talked like a pirate before today?
It was exactly 365 moons ago.
Well, that's good for you. I did not realize that today was Talk Like a Pirate Day, so I'm glad you let me know about that. Are you drinking the rum?
I'm drinking the sea. I'm drinking water, actually. Just coming back from a Hawaiian vacation, and I need to rehydrate it because I did drink a bit on the trip, and now I need to get back to a normal human level of hydration.
Dude, I hear you, man. You sent me some pictures of your trip from Hawaii, and I even got to FaceTime with you a couple of times, and my God, it looked beautiful. And you did a couple of videos on Wearable Fandom, walking through a resort, and then you kind of gave like a quick update on your channel as well. See, I watched the videos. I know what's going on.
Thank you.
And as much as I love watching you and seeing all the things that you have to talk about and show us, if you're just looking at like where you were, like, dude, that was paradise. That was amazing. Look at the weather was perfect too.
It was beautiful. We'll have plenty more to say about that trip to Hawaii and some of the connections back to the channel. Thank you, of course, for watching. And while you're at it, let me remind everybody that you can find Where Mighty Things on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, of course, on YouTube here if you're a video fan, and most high quality audio dispensaries, which is my favorite way to refer to it. Want to let you guys know that you can like and subscribe, and of course, ring the bell to get the notification when our new content drops. We are also asking folks to rate our podcast. If you're listening over on Spotify, on Apple, or on any other podcast service where you can give a rating, please, 5 stars only. If you've got feedback for us, you can email us at wearablefandom@gmail.com. And it'll be nice to hear.
If it's positive feedback, you can post it publicly. If it's negative feedback, send us an email.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed that if you download an app and at one point it may ask you like to rate the app or stuff you like?
Oh yeah.
If you put down that you like the app, it brings you right to the App Store to write a review. If you put down if you press the thumbs down button or that you don't like it, it puts down an email.
Yeah.
So it doesn't get posted.
Well, why not? Well, that I can tell you as somebody who works very closely on a largely installed mobile application, it's really hard to change the actual scores that you get on the rating. So I can definitely understand why people do that pattern. But also there's another reason. It lets you actually communicate and understand the problem. Sometimes people just will vent and they'll post a review of an app or of a podcast or something, and they'll never go back and change it. So you'll respond and go, did you try blank? Did you have this problem or that problem? That's not a two-way conversation, but with an email, it does enable that opportunity. So if you just want to stand up and vouch for our podcast, like John said, go over and rate it. If you've got a complaint, you can also send it to us in email form. So we'll adopt that same pattern, John.
And if you want an address, I'll give you Dustin's address. If you message me, you can snail mail him.
Glitter bombs are the worst and the best.
Have you ever been sent one?
I
Really?
I've strongly considered sending a glitter bomb. Yes, it just felt like the right way.
Can we say whom?
It was years and years ago. I think it was back when I first saw glitter bombs. It was probably 5, 6, 7 years ago. They've been around for a while. However, on further reflection, glitter is like the herpes of arts and crafts. It just never goes away. No matter what you do, it's never going away. I had a roommate who went to Burning Man, and that's a big event out here for a lot of Bay Area.
It's like a big hippie fest, no?
Well, they would refer to it as a community of radical independence because you're literally in the desert. and they have like
Mhm.
dust storms and stuff. You've got to wear like ski goggles and even stronger goggles. Half the day, you could be stuck in a tent because there's a dust storm that you can't be out in. You can't breathe in
Oh,
it.
that sounds like so much fun.
Yeah. I bring that up because one of my friends went to Burning Man a few years back, one of my old roommates, and he brought back this sort of mirror ball like costume, and it had sequins, not even glitter, like little tiny sequins, because it wanted to have this like sparkly effect. And
Yeah.
they were popping off of the costume forever. And I saw them for years after he left, after he had moved out. I still was seeing that crap.
I've strongly suggested sending someone a glitter bomb before, and there are actually services where you can pay like an extra $3 to get ultra fine glitter. Like you get like the tiny.
It's
I'm like,
evil,
yes, the
man.
ultra fine one every time.
It's definitely evil. It's definitely evil. Well, we've got a
Uh,
lot of news to talk about, John.
yes, we do.
There's a bit of a milestone that our channel and Wearable Fandom is actually celebrating here. So we're going to talk about that just a little bit. Roosevelt's surprised everybody by just dropping attendance at a show where they previously had not told anyone. So we found out like the weekend before that they were showing up, and that's just I was just shocked. We'll talk about that, of course.
Unbelievable.
The main thrust of our conversation today is going to be the Hoboken Meetup, where you were in attendance, and we'll hear all the details on that. And of course, looking at it, John, we're less than a month away from New York Comic Con, so we'll talk a little bit about
Oh
how we're
my
getting ready.
god.
I know
Yes.
it's coming up, so we'll talk about what we're looking forward to at NYCC, and away we go. But before we do that, John, what are you wearing, my friend?
So I am wearing the Legends Never Die hat from the Milwaukee meetup, the one that Josh Albrecht throws together. And I wasn't able to get to the Milwaukee meetup, but Josh was so kind enough to send me one in the mail. So truly grateful for him. And if you're a fan of Josh, be sure to go to subscribe to him at Not Done Yet Media on YouTube. He's got a great podcast with a couple of Roosevelt's insiders, and he's doing other stuff as well. He does a sports related show as well. So definitely go like them, give them a follow as well, because they're just great people. So I am wearing that, and I am also wearing Tropical Shade. My brother actually gifted this to
Ooh,
me for my birthday. So
wow.
this is great. It's been one of my new favorites. It's definitely a favorite of mine. And I may not be wearing this, but I also have a Roosevelt's cup with me.
Ooh, look
Mm.
at that. Looks like a
Yes,
Stanley, but only
I
cooler
know,
color.
right? But this is the Roosevelt's cup. You see, and on the back, can you see that? I don't know if you can see that right there. It's got the logo right there in the back, but it's got a nice solid one right there in the front.
Nice.
It's actually not mine. This is my friend Ariane's. She left it in my car, and I'm not giving it back.
Well, doesn't that make it yours then, John?
Until she steals it back. Yes, but her name is Shelly. I've named her. I've named her Shelly.
Aw,
And
Shelly.
that's because her shell keeps everything nice and cool.
Aw,
So
Shelly.
I'm bringing the cup with me wherever I go, and so I figure I bring it with me on the podcast as well. What are you wearing?
I'm starting off with my killer pizza beard party collab hat, which I really love. That big slice
I
of
need to get
pizza.
me one of those.
Yeah, they're nice. They're really nice construction. Feels great. And then I am wearing the Lilo and Stitch Gemele no Lilo shirt, partially because I'm not finished with being on vacation and just thinking about Hawaii, but also for a couple of reasons that will come clear as we transition over into the news. And we'll start off with Wearable Fandom celebrating a milestone. So, John, as you know, we've been doing the podcast since I guess March, April timeframe,
Approximately, yeah,
and
yeah, that sounds about right.
and that's been a lot of fun. And but prior to that, I was making videos just like I've continued to do. You mentioned I visited to Disney's Aulani Resort and posted a very quick kind of walkthrough and overview of the resort. Really awesome and beautiful place that folks should check out. Check out that video. But this trip to Hawaii was actually the 1 year anniversary of my committing to actually starting a YouTube channel. It wasn't
That's
the
beautiful.
exact date when I started the YouTube channel. It was when I got brave enough to start recording, and I took that with me to Hawaii. I made a couple of videos, one of which I did release, which was the Kualoa Ranch video where we were driving around all of the different scenes and places where they filmed Jurassic Park and a bunch of Kong movies and things like that. Super fun video to make. But I talk a lot about that. So that trip in September was the 1 year anniversary of me starting to produce content. Now, I did not actually release anything for a little while longer, so it's not officially our 1 year birthday, but the first video that I made was a review for this shirt, the Himalayan Lilo shirt. And for those of you who haven't subscribed to the channel, when you go over and look at the channel, that's actually the first video that you see. It took me a month to make that video, a lot longer because I didn't have any experience editing. And so it's really nice to kind of see that kind of come around and go, wow, I've been working towards a goal of making videos for a year. And now very soon, I think in another 4 or 5 weeks, we'll have reach that 1 year official threshold. So it's nice to celebrate that milestone. Thank you to everybody who's come along for the journey. We're not stopping. We're just getting started, and we've got a
Oh,
lot
hell
more
yeah,
fun in
baby. We got
store.
this.
Yeah.
We got
Yeah.
this. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going until the end of time. Dustin and I, we're gonna be 90. We're gonna be 90 doing this.
90-year-old pirates. We'll be Statler and Waldorf.
we'll be talking about Roosevelt's for a very long time.
Why do we always come here? I guess we'll never know.
Guess we'll never know.
It's like some kind of torture to have to watch the show.
Oh man, but you and I, we'll be talking about Roosevelt's till the day we die, man. This is this is it. This is it for us. And
yeah.
I think you said it best. We're just getting started, and we got this. I think we
Yeah.
have a very good flow, and I think people are loving the show. And we just got to get this. We got to keep going on with this, man.
I'm having a blast. We're not stopping. We're not done. We're not done.
The
That's
party
Boogie Down
doesn't
Productions. Check this out. We made a very quick mention about the Roosevelts dropped a field note maybe 5 days, 6 days before the start of the Rose City Comic Con in Portland a little earlier this month. And it was not a show that was on the event calendar. Many insiders will actually plan their travel around where the Roosevelts is going to be, not just because of the shirts, but because they want to know that other insiders are going to come and there'll be a little bit of a mini get together or community gathering or just some events out and about around the show. So Portland and Rose City Comic Con was not on the list. And all of a sudden they show up and they got 3 exclusive shirts. What did you think, John? Did it catch you off guard, that news?
Definitely surprised to see that, especially because, you're going to have a lower attendance as well when it comes to insiders who are not able to just kind of book it and head. So I'm a little surprised. I wonder what the story is behind that. Was there just kind of a mistake when they made the list, or someone forgot to update it? Because I think it's very interesting, as we know, the Floral City colorway is always done to some sports team in the area. So they must have had some sort of notice, or at least had an idea that they were going to be there in order to have that colorway done. So I'm a little surprised on that. And if we didn't get a Floral City, I'd be more like, okay, maybe this was just a last minute thing. But I was happy with it. Actually, I love that Floral City. I think that's the red and black, I think, is a fantastic colorway. Definitely one that I would pick up. We also got a Batman shirt and a Star Wars shirt, Dark Side of the Moon. I saw a lot of people picking up that Dark Side of the Moon shirt. That seemed to be
for sure.
the hot one that a lot of people wanted. What did you think?
I like that shirt a lot, and it's going to show up a little bit later on in my top picks, I think. But the Bat Noir shirt was really nice.
I thought you were about to say, actually, it's about to show up in a little bit at my house. I thought you picked it up. So I was like, whoa, good for you, my friend.
No, I did not pick it up. And I will say this, and I'm gonna say this. After D23, I realized that the Roosevelts understands a little bit better about the number of shirts that they're bringing with them. And there seemed to be no difficulty in people getting shirts the size they want with the new system. So they're bringing more shirts, and people are getting the shirts that they want. And I'm not going to pay a ridiculous price for people to do pickups. I'm the kind of person that if you're my friend, I'll do pickups for cost for you. And I have done that for people multiple times. So if I know somebody's going, I might ask them for a favor to pick something up, but I'm not going to pay $120 because I've watched what happened to those D23 shirts. People were trying to sell them for $200, $300, and now they're $110 or best offer. They're like stuck with them now. And why are they stuck with them? Well, A, they bought too many. They speculated and now they're getting burned. But B, because the Roosevelts are stocking a lot more shirts, meaning that I can wait until one of these shirts becomes available at a reasonable price. And so, unless it's something that I really, really have to have, I'm just not going to do pickups unless they're essentially friend pickups at cost.
Right. I mean, I'm all for doing pickups at the con if you have a buyer right there. So the way I've always done pickups is, and I did pickups a lot, especially at New York Comic Con, is you had to Venmo me before I bought the shirt.
Mm,
So I'd get there, I'd find out what's available, I'd post, hey, look, this is what's available. If you want, because I'm not getting stuck with shirts. I'm not buying
yeah,
extra shirts and then just offloading them later. Every shirt had to have a name attached to it. So everyone's shirts got shipped out, a couple of days later. And, like I got stuck with, I didn't get stuck with any. In fact, amazing thing happened to me last year at New York Comic Con. I did a crazy amount. Honestly, I did too many pickups. I did way too many pickups. But I helped out a lot of people. And when you're buying, with no exaggeration, 70, 80 shirts for people, there's bound to be a mistake or two. Um,
sure.
and what happened, and I thought I was doing a good job of keeping track of having everyone's correct sizes and whatnot. But I'm human. I mean, I may not be completely human, but I'm human for the most part. Um, and
You're at least
I
5% pirate.
I was at some point shorted one New York City Comic Con Cheshire Cat, which that was the big shirt.
Oh,
That was the Saturday
of all
shirt,
shirts, of all
right?
shirts to get shorted.
Right, exactly. And it was the one that so that was the only one that I had bought for myself. And I will say, Jason Hepler was very sweet, and he bought me the New York City floral while we were there, as a
Oh, that's
thank you.
nice.
He was just really sweet. So I have both of those. So I was shorted at some point one Cheshire Cat shirt, and it was in my size as well. The one that I was shorted. It was, so I had a dilemma. I was like, all right, I'm like, I can just refund this guy and keep the one that I bought for myself, or I can use the one that I bought for myself and ship it out, and then everyone's golden. So I decided to give the guy the shirt. He paid for it. I didn't want to do that, so I gave him my shirt. Um,
Wow.
and yeah, but yeah, so I made a post and saying, hey, look, ironically enough, I picked up all these shirts. Now I'm looking for a Cheshire Cat. I'm like, because I was, shorted. And like 20 insiders got together and bought me one. I had a new one at my
Oh,
at my door
wow.
within
That's
like
so
a
kind.
week. Yeah, oh my god, it was one of the sweetest things I've ever. I was not expecting that at all. Like within a week, I had one at my door, which is
That's awesome.
really. Insiders are just the absolute best. They are just.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful for this community. I really, really, really am.
And you
So yeah,
should be. Yeah.
if you're gonna do pickups, I would suggest having people buy the shirt before you buy it. Have them buy it from you, because if you get, the worst thing that can happen is that if you get up to the line and they're out of stock on the shirt, you just refund the guy. That's it. There's nothing. Not much you can really. That's the worst thing that can happen. So
Exactly.
yeah, so that's what I would do going forward if you're going to do pickups. I do not recommend just buying an excessive amount of shirts and just hoping for the best.
Exactly. And I want to be super clear. I don't have any issue with people selling the shirts for a little bit more. They took the time to travel to the place. They took the
Oh yeah.
energy to stand in line. I mean, how long did we stand in line at D23? We're standing in the line for like
Oh,
3 hours, 4 hours a day in some cases, waiting to get in, getting in, and then waiting to get a ticket, getting in and
yeah.
waiting to wait for the actual turn, which could take a long
Oh
time.
yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of waiting and there's a lot of expense. I don't mind people upcharging for pickups,
Yeah.
110, 120, whatever you think, you want
Yeah.
or what is reasonable. I don't mind that at all. I think that some service charge is warranted. I'm just not doing it myself. Like if I go
Yeah.
to a
That's
con,
fair.
I'll if you ask me, I'm gonna pick something up and you're gonna say how much is it? I'm gonna say it's the cost plus the shipping. I'm not charging you more because I probably was standing in line anyways to buy a shirt.
Yeah.
It's not to call anybody out or say that doing that is bad or problematic. It's just I'm
Yeah.
not going to pay somebody to pick up any shirts for me anymore.
Look, I agree with you completely, man. The genie shirt seems to be the only one that is really held on. Maybe in the Indiana Jones one as well. I feel like I don't see that one pop
Yeah.
up too frequently as well. But those are the genie shirt for sure has definitely held on to its price. That one is definitely the hardest one to get, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the one I'm holding on to, or I'm trying to use it as a trade for something nicer. I actually offered it as a trade
Ooh.
for that Stormtrooper shirt earlier today that we were talking
Oh,
about.
And
But
did we get a response on that?
no response, and it's probably a no anyways. Somebody needs money, they need
Ugh.
money, so they don't want another shirt to get
Yeah.
rid of.
No, that's true. That's true. A lot of times people sell because they have to, because they need the money, not because they're
Exactly.
looking.
Yeah.
If they're
Yeah.
looking for a specific shirt, they put that in the post. I'm looking to trade these shirts for this.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
but I
No,
hope it, dude. I hope it works out for you. I hope you find your Stormtrooper, because that's a sick shirt to own, and I would
it
love to
is a
see you
sick
have that.
shirt.
I
I
would
would love
love
it
to see
too.
that on Mannequin Skywalker.
Mannequin Skywalker back here is rocking the Toronto floral, and he's loving it. He's got the Legends Never Die hat on, same as you. And
He's
yeah,
copying me. I love that.
he is. He is. I mean, he's wearing a floral as well. He's not wearing the same floral, but he's doing his
He
best.
He is. He wanted to do his little John Madigan look, and I appreciate that. He's got to get a little bit of a haircut. I think he's got hair's a little too long for me.
So, speaking of money, the Roosevelts actually announced a charitable donation update for Lahaina Strong. So, we just recently passed the 1 year anniversary of the terrible fire on Maui and Lahaina. They released the shirt, the Lahaina Strong shirt, and they donated to the Maui Strong Fund. And afterwards, they were able to raise $59,000 in proceeds that went to the charitable donations for the fund. They took a big chunk of that money from those shirts that were all pre-ordered, by the way, and they turned
Yes.
it around and put that money towards, helping out the folks on Maui. I had a really good friend of mine who did come over to Oahu and visit with me for a little bit for an afternoon, and he had his place burned down, and he recounted the story of how they were all hanging out. And do you know what a hurricane party is? You probably
A
don't know what a
hurricane
hurricane party.
party? I
Yeah.
do not know what a hurricane party is. No.
Floridians don't do this very well. Some of them might on the Gulf Coast, but people from Nolans and Louisiana, they know how to do a hurricane party. Basically, when there's a big storm coming, you can't really get away from it, which used to be more true than it is now. They tell you 5 days in advance, hey, the storm's probably coming through here. You throw a party and you get food, you get you drink, you just hang out. They were having the equivalent of a hurricane party, but for wildfires. And there was maybe 5 minutes notice in their party, which had a considerable amount of drinking. And they found out that the gas station around the corner was on fire. And they were like, oh crap, we got to get out of here for real. And he went
Yeah.
from that 5 minutes to basically his car catching on fire and then fleeing on foot with nothing,
Oh
like
my
literally
god.
nothing he owned except the clothes on his
Wow.
back. And so it was pretty horrific. And a year later, most of those plots are still unsettled from the fire damage. I learned that it was actually from a power line that caused the damage. So there's some serious lawsuits going on around that. But either way, the folks living on Maui are still dealing with a lot of that. Nothing's gone back to normal. So this was really great news for us to learn that Roosevelt's and the insider community were able to kind of play a role and put some money towards it.
It just goes to show you that when insiders come together, anything is possible. The fact that they were able to, insiders were able to raise that much money together for such a good cause really speaks volumes at how good this community truly is.
Now let's shift gears, John. Last week, as you mentioned, I was in Hawaii on vacation, and many insiders were in Hoboken, New Jersey. They got together for a celebration of life for the late Steve Gebhardt, and everybody met up at Pier 13 in Hoboken. There was a beer swap that happened on one of the nights, and I saw some photos of some of the beers that were traded, which is really cool. And then, of course, the main event, the actual Hoboken Meetup. You were there, and I asked you to please represent. I called in. I made a video call and said hello to a few folks. I wish I could have been there, but yeah, tell us about it. It seems like it was quite a special event.
Well, first up, before I get into anything, I just want to say it was absolutely amazing being there, getting to meet so many insiders. Some of you for the first time, some of you I've met quite a few times before. Getting to meet and hang out with all of you truly was amazing. I can honestly and truly say that I'm absolutely my happiest when I'm around other insiders. So the amount of you that I got to speak to and hang out with and take pictures with, and so many people actually came up to me and said that they love the podcast, and I swear on that. Like, there was a lot of people who said they really enjoyed watching our show, and they're really happy about it. And they were a lot of people asked, like, "Hey, where's Dustin?" I'm like, "Well, if you listen to the show, you know he's in Hawaii." But
I love the podcast. I don't listen.
I love the fact that you're doing the podcast. I love,
Oh, that's good enough.
I like the first 3 minutes of the podcast.
Oh,
No,
exactly.
no, no. A lot of no. Seriously though, a lot of people came up to me and said they really enjoyed listening to the podcast, and that warms my heart. Just to hear that people are actually listening to what we're doing and they're really enjoying it and they're sharing it with their friends and their family. And it was just really amazing to meet so many insiders. So brief, knowledge, brief awareness. I don't even know what I'm saying. Brief. What's the word I'm looking for? Just like heads up. I was not at the beer swap, unfortunately.
Okay.
I was dumb, and I just automatically assumed, oh, Friday night. There won't, it'll be a Friday night party is going to start late at night. I did not realize that it starts at 4:00 and ends at 8 p.m. And it wound up not actually ending at 8 p.m. So I should have just drove there after work anyway, because they all headed off to another bar anyway.
Of
So
course.
I should have, I should have just hopped in my car and go. Because I had to work late. I didn't get the time off from work because I only realized so late. But I was able to score one of the exclusive koozies that was at the beer
Ooh.
swap. So this right here, there's only 100 of these. There says limited to 100 right there. And
Wow.
this goes right here. This is the design of the Ninja Hops. That was the shirt that was distributed out at the Atlantic City meetup on day 2. There's a very limited amount of those. Those shirts right there. I mean, I know what the last one sold for, but and
Mm-hmm.
we're going to get into
Mm-hmm.
that. But the Ninja Hop shirt, it's a collaboration with Departed Souls. So we have this on one side, and then we have, of course, the Steve on the other side. So I was really grateful that David Resto from HQ was he handed me one of these at the
Nice.
at Hoboken. So I was really grateful to be able to score one of these. And so even though I wasn't at the beer swap, anybody who did attend the beer swap was handed one of these. And this is just a really cool thing. But from all the pictures and videos that I saw from the beer swap, it looked like a grand old time. Looks like they ordered some pizza for everyone. Lots of karaoke being done as well.
Yes.
And if you know, insiders love karaoke. I know, and we're going to be doing plenty of karaoke on the Insiders Cruise as well, my friend. You know it.
Yes.
So definitely wish that I could have been there to drink with my friends and party, and it just looked like a grand old time. Now, the very next day for the meetup, um, went in early, drove my friends Ariane and Anne there, and we got there at around between 10:30. Got a nice parking spot not far away, and
Nice.
already there was a ton of insiders outside waiting to get in before they officially let everyone in. And it was immediately, you can just tell that it was filled with love. That's probably the best way to put it. Everybody there was clearly there for Steve. The amount of people wearing the shirts from the Steve collection was mind blowing. Just to show you how many people actually bought it, it really put a smile on my face. And like I said, even like just like the line before, because Mike Schreiner posted a post saying, "Hey guys, we're gonna be here all day. This is a marathon, not a sprint." I don't know what's the slower version. Marathon,
You
not a
got it.
sprint. Is this?
No,
Yeah,
no, no.
I got it. Yeah,
It's a
see, I
marathon,
got
not a
it. I get
sprint.
it.
You got to make it through
It's a
the whole
marathon, not a
day.
sprint.
Don't just burn out in the first hour.
Right. You don't have to show up here first thing in the morning, but there were so many people there who wanted to be there first thing and spend the entire day. So it was truly amazing just to get there and just see all the insiders right there. And I was really happy to see that Paging Miss Tomorrow, Nate, was, he made the
Yes.
trip in from Florida. And Jake Holland, Pizza Beard Party, who, you're repping his hat right now, he also made the trip in as well. So to have those guys come in just to celebrate the life of Steve was truly special. And it's always great hanging out with those guys. Those guys are always a fun hang. Um, so everyone's just kind of hanging out outside the pier. If you've never been to Pier 13 before, it's kind of a big open area. It's a bit long, but it goes out onto the street before you walk in. So everyone's just kind of hanging around there in their own little circles, talking to people. Everyone's giving hugs, taking pictures, and that in and of itself is just beautiful. Everyone's just happy to see one another. And then when you got in, they were actually very strict about having to check in, and because there was a bunch of people who wanted to purchase tickets and not show up and hopefully get the shirt, and you definitely had to be there in order to get the shirt. And I'm going to explain their process. So before you were even let in, before you were even let into the pier, they had Roosevelt's employees there with clipboards with everyone's names who purchased a ticket. So you had to get in there to get a wristband in order to even be let in. So that in and of itself was the first part of that. So then when you walked in, there was Scotty was there handing out these tote bags.
Oh
So
yeah, I
this right
saw
here is a
photos of
special.
those.
Yes, this right here is a special Roosevelt's Insiders, Roosevelt's Meetup tote bag. This is actually embroidered. I don't know if you can tell that on the camera right there, but it's got the Roosevelt's logo, and we have the Steve logo right there. Me personally, I'm a sucker for embroidered things. So to have this was really cool and really special. So not only is this a tote bag, but if you flip this around, I don't know if you can tell right here, we have these straps right here. It actually turns into a backpack as well. So you can use it
Oh,
for
that's
both.
killer.
And this was just a free thing that was handed out to everyone who attended the meetup. And inside the bag was some goodies. Um, so let's open this up real quick. So
Ooh,
the big
live
thing that
open
you
on
had to make.
air.
Yeah, we're gonna open on air. Well, I mean, of course, I've opened it, but I mean, I made sure. So these right here. Oh, I had 2 more drink tickets. I didn't even real. Dang it! I'm like disappointed now.
No. Those are
I'm
collector's items. Those are
right,
collector's
these are.
items.
We're gonna auction these off actually, and the money's gonna go to the Gebhardt Foundation. These are 2
There we
actual
go.
drink tickets from the Hoboken Meetup.
There we
And
go.
this right here was a raffle ticket. They were doing raffles. I'll be honest with you, I was drinking on the pier and I never checked to see if they called my number. So we can auction this off as well. And the third ticket in there, which I don't have, you needed to redeem in at a desk with Pete. Pete is the head of customer service over at Roosevelt, and he is a amazing guy. If you ever meet him, he is just one of the sweetest employees over at Roosevelt. Pete had a desk, and there was another coupon, and you had to hand this coupon in order to redeem your shirt. There's a special
Okay.
Steve shirt, the Little Steve's shirt. I think that was called. What's the actual name? Do you have the actual name of it?
Don't remember, but I think it was like
I'm
Steve's
gonna.
Whales, little Steve's
I'm gonna.
Whales.
Let me get it right here, so I'm not. Steve's Little Things is called.
That's
So
right.
in order to get the Steve's Little Things shirt, you had to go over to the desk with Pete. Pete had his little laptop set up. If you did not make it to the meetup, you were essentially not getting one because you had to be there to get your ticket to then redeem it to Pete, who would then add it onto your account, and then when the shirt gets printed up, they will ship it out to you. So we had that, and then there were also some just amazing insiders handing stuff out as well. Scored this beautiful artwork as well. Someone made this of Steve.
Wow.
I wish I got the name of who did this, but I'm definitely going to put this in a frame. So really happy. Someone just kind of handed it up to me and gave this to me.
Oh,
And one of
wow.
the biggest things that we saw being shown on Insiders, and I think you know exactly where I'm going with this, is there were special limited edition Steve pins. Um, I have 3 of them right here. We have the F Yeah pin,
Oh, wow.
and we have the SG pin, and
Nice.
we also have the thumbs up pin.
Yeah,
Um,
the thumbs up.
yeah. So these right here these are all limited edition inside limited edition packaging. I actually have the packaging with me as well. It's torn open, but the packaging right here says limited Steve edition. Um,
Wow.
yes. So really really glad that we got these. So there's 200. So there's 200 of each design. This right
Okay.
here, number 63 of 200. Actually, my friend
Nice.
Ariane, she got number 1 of one of the pins. I forget which pin, but she actually got the number 1 for one of the pins. So very jealous
Nice.
about that. Each bag had 2 pins in it, and then later on in the day, a couple of members from HQ were handing out extra pins to people. I guess
Oh, so
they
cool.
had some left over, so I got an extra one. So I was really happy about that, and I'm glad I have 3 unique ones. And so not only is there 200 of each of the 5 or 6 designs, but and I don't have any to show you here. I'm sure you saw this on Insiders though. There are of each pin design limited edition numbered chase variants. They're like a blue metallic version of each of those pins, and those are one of 25.
Oh, wow.
What was your favorite
Uh,
of the designs that you've seen?
I like the one that was the Steve face. That one was really cool. Like
Yes,
the
that one is really
uh,
cool.
um, I thought they were pretty amazing, and I thought it was killer that the company actually took the time and energy. There's a lead time on producing this stuff, which includes not just the designing, but getting the sculpts done for the pins, getting them produced. If you've got the sculpts, you can get them produced pretty quickly. Then getting the packaging, getting all that stuff. I mean, a lot of people put a lot of effort into it from the company, and this was not planned work. They would have been doing other things for the company had they not been, designing these pins. So I'm really glad that they did them. I thought they were all super cool. It was a great surprise. In addition, everybody's like, "Oh, we're going to have the shirt," which we'll talk about in just a second. But the pins just put it over the top. Correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't the pins Steve's idea? Like, wasn't that a big part of his idea? Did we hear that?
Let's just say he was excited about the pins and put a lot of work
Okay.
and effort into them. I mean, like, it may have been his idea. I just don't know that like, I don't know that.
That's
I don't
fair.
know
That's
who was
fair.
I don't know who was sitting there in the room and was like, "Hey, how about we do pins?"
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
because like one person can come up with the idea, and then the next person can be like, they're like, "Oh, that's a great idea," and then they run up with 50 additional ideas for that item. So I don't know
Yeah, that's
who
fair.
was sitting there. Yeah, but Steve definitely had a significant amount to do with the pins, and he was really excited to do them. And it's kind of a shame that he didn't get a chance to really see it fully happen. I feel like the only pins that he got to see go out were the ones at the Greenville meetup. He actually, looks like, at least from that Instagram video, that he packed that box himself and sent that out to Greenville. It's definitely kind of sad that he didn't get to see them get out to the world.
Yeah.
But it's really nice. I thought it was amazing that they were able to get that all done. And it definitely made me think, like, how long does it take to produce a pin if they were able to get all these done like this?
Not a lot, not a long time, to be honest, because I've been looking at wearable fandom pins for a few months now. I haven't talked to you
oh,
about it,
oh,
but
is
it's
that
something I've been looking at. Yeah.
did we just drop some news?
No, no, no. I want to say it's news just yet. Yeah, not yet. I've just been in looking into it, so we'll see. But I think there will be some merch for wearable fandom in the not too distant future.
Can we have a John pin? Can there be a John pin?
Yeah, there can be a John shirt. There can be a John pen.
A John shirt? Oh my! No one's buying a John shirt. No one's buying. I
uh,
love you,
uh,
Dustin.
you would buy one, and your mom would buy one, and that.
My mom would buy one. My mom would buy one. You're right.
I'm
So that's
wearing a
two. That's two
John
right
shirt.
there.
I don't know what your
Yeah.
mom sounds like. I'm just making it up.
My mom. If I tell my mom, like, "Oh yeah, there's a John shirt for sure," she'd buy one. She would
A John
definitely.
shirt. What does it say? John.
It just says John on it. Black
Yeah.
shirt, white letters, just John period at the end. That's it.
I've been thinking about that
Um,
though. But I don't want to derail the conversation. So, but yeah, we'll put a pin in that, and we'll come back to that later. But it's definitely been something. So I
pun
do know a
intended.
little bit about the lead time here of putting
Was that a
pins in
pun
things.
intended?
Yes, of course.
But-
As they say in
Uh,
German, natürlich. Yeah, naturally, of course.
when you walked in, actually, John, the other co-founder of Roosevelt's, was standing there, and he had bags of bagels and Taylor ham pork and Taylor ham pork. And I don't even know what they call it. Is it called Taylor ham? Is it pork? What do they call it in Jersey? Taylor
You're
ham
asking
pork.
me. I live on the other side
I'm
of the
asking
country.
you. Taylor ham, egg and cheese sandwiches,
Oh,
all wrapped up, ready to go,
nice.
and other bagels. And I think later on they went out and they got things of coffee as well. Um, so that was, and they were just handing that out to anybody who wanted, just free breakfast in the morning. So that was just really cool of them. And then somebody came up and handed this to me, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know who. They had a bag of these, and they were just going up and they were handing these out. This is kind of like a popsicle stick pin, and it says "Shirt Nerds" on it.
Oh, cool.
So someone made this, and I don't know who made this, but I'm really grateful that they came up and handed me one. And I saw John repping one of these as well. Yeah, they were handing them out to everybody, so that was really nice. So really cool that I got that. And inside the bag as well, and I've been wearing this every day, is this special wristband. It says Roosevelt's Hoboken Meetup, and then
Cool.
on the back it says SG. And then if you flip it inside out, it's indented in there. I don't know if the camera is going to pick this up. Probably not. Maybe it says
A little
"Legends
bit.
Never Die" on it.
Oh, that's super cool.
Um, so that's officially from Roosevelt's, and then as the people and see, this is just what I'm saying: the outpour of love and support, and people definitely wanted to do things to be a part of this, and they just knew that so many insiders were going to be there. They knew how important this was. Kevin Wilcox and his wife Emma. They made these, or they had these made up. I don't know, and I've been wearing this every day. This is Roosevelt's friendship bracelet. And
Oh, look at
it says
that.
legends never yeah, it says legends never die on it. So I've been wearing this as well every day. Never had a friendship bracelet before, but they had large bags of these for everybody. So
Wow.
was really grateful to have these. So our friends Kevin and Emma from Disney Kind of Life, thank you so much for that.
How
um,
cool.
yeah. So I feel like I'm just talking your ear off right now at this point. But there's just so much to say about this incredible meetup that I was just feel so fortunate to have been a part of to celebrate the life of Steve. So the number coming in, at least that I've seen posted on social media from some official people, is over 350 insiders attended Pier
Wow.
13 for this. And I'm sure you saw the really nice group photo that we took as well over there on the back of it with that beautiful New York City skyline. To have that many people there was truly something special. So really, really glad to have been a part of that. Now, so what I went over the different tickets that you had. So you had the drink tickets, and then you had the raffle tickets. So they were raffling off Steve stuffed animals. I don't know if you saw pictures of these. They had
Oh, yeah, I did
two
see
large.
those. I saw one of them. Yeah.
I think they had two large ones, and they had a mini one. And I thought that was the cutest thing. It was Steve's stuffed animal. I don't know. Maybe this is a little prototype thing. So they were raffling these off, and I didn't win, but it's okay. Some great insiders did win it, and
How do you
I
know?
hope
You still have your
you're
raffle
right.
ticket.
You're right. They could have called my number, and I would have just been drinking the sangria and not even heard it. And yeah, no, you're completely right.
You should
Definitely
stop
could have.
drinking sangria
I
and go
can't stop.
listen to the ticket calls.
Can't stop. Won't stop. Um, But what I will say though is, in addition to the raffle, there was a shirt auction for a 3XL Ninja Hops,
Yeah.
and so all the money went to the Uncle Stevie Fund, and this is in history. This has got to be the highest selling Roosevelt shirt in history.
Yes.
Two
100%. And I
insiders, two insiders. One of them, the person who won it, we're friends with, and he actually specifically asked me if we're going to talk about it on the podcast to not mention his name, so
okay.
or mention the name of the other person. So if
Yep.
you were there, you know who it was, but I'm going to respect their wishes and not mention their name. Do you? I'm sure you know who it is, though.
I know who
Um,
it is, but how could we not talk about it on the podcast? I'm sorry.
how can we
I'm
not talk about
sorry.
it? He just
I'm
no,
sorry, uh,
he
Mr. or Mrs. X. You know, this is
yeah.
we're talking about it on the podcast.
They said it's fine to talk about on the podcast, just don't mention their name. And
Got
that's
it.
more than I'm more than happy to follow that. So there was a shirt auction that broke out, and I forget exactly where they found the shirt. I feel like I heard two conflicting stories. One of them said it was on Steve's desk for the longest time, and the other story I heard saying it was the owner of Departed Souls. He had it and was saving it for a special occasion. So I've heard
I
both of
see.
these. I wasn't exactly sure which one is true, but it doesn't really matter. This is very friendly. This was not. This was definitely done to just simply speaking raise money. This was not. You know, they both knew the money was going to a good cause, and so they were both going to do what they were both going to do what they could.
Right.
And I can't even believe I'm saying this. How much money this shirt? Because I would have never guessed it. Would have never guessed it because both of these insiders are truly amazing people for making this happen and for making this go up as high as it did. Um, the shirt sold for no exaggeration $6,100
Whoo! That's
for a
number one,
Ninja
a
Hops.
record. That's got to be the record.
That's got to be the record. If it's not the record, I definitely want to know what it is. But that has got to be the record by a long shot. I feel like the highest numbered shirt I've ever seen sold was for a Kraken on BST, maybe $1,200 or so or something.
Yeah.
which I thought was insane to begin with. But after experiencing that, I'm like, holy crap! Amazing job by both of those insiders for getting that done, and that's going to give a lot of good to that foundation. And I will say that the insider that did win it is a very deserving insider. They are I've come to know them over the past couple of years as to be a truly amazing and good, kind-hearted individual. And if there was one person there who was going to win, I'm really glad it was them. They
Yeah.
got it going on.
Very,
But
very exciting.
$6,100 on a shirt, my God! Damn,
Whew.
who has the, I don't, Dustin, I don't have that money.
That's a trip to Japan. Like that'll cover your flight and all your meals at Star Wars Celebration.
I,
So,
I
and all of the Roosevelt shirts available at Star Wars Celebration.
I know, right?
Yeah,
I will say, I will say, just in terms of like a personal level, it's not like we knew the shirt auction was happening and we had time to prepare. That was done
sure.
on a whim. like,
Yeah,
it's one thing if you have some time to prepare and you do well for it. This was done on a whim, and you just have that. I was very much impressed with that. Um, so so the shirt auction happened, and a Ninja Hop sold for $6,100, and my jaw
wow.
was on the floor when I found out because I just didn't. I didn't. I couldn't believe it.
Well, let's shift gears here and talk a little bit more about the shirt. Now, you talked about the process of getting the shirt, but what did you think about the actual design of Steve's little things?
Oh my god! So, and we actually got to see it in person. Only members of Steve's family actually had the shirt on, so they did have a few samples printed up. So it was really great to see the shirt in person. I wasn't sure if we were actually going to be able to see the shirt in person.
Mhm.
The day before or 2 days before the meetup, they actually updated the field notes with the image of the shirt.
That's right.
And to say that I didn't feel a little emotional, would have been a lie. It was definitely emotional to see the shirt and looking at it and seeing all of Steve's favorite things and seeing little nods to different photos and different things that we've seen him say and do. Truly something special, and it was just heartwarming. And you can definitely tell that a lot of love clearly went into that shirt. Um, this is a shirt that I am undoubtedly going to hold on forever. You're never going to see it on BST, at least from me. So because it honors the man that brought us all together.
Yeah.
And if there's one statement that I can say about the Pier 13 meetup in general that I think kind of sums it all up, is that this is undoubtedly what Steve would have wanted. I have no doubt that Steve would have loved a giant gathering at one of his favorite places with all the people that he surely have made an impact on his life. Um, this is what he would have wanted, and I'm really grateful that they did this. And but the shirt itself was really cool and really special. And um, like I said, I think you just felt a lot of love and thought went into it, just like everything that happened at the Pier 13, with the pins and with the bag and just with everything they had done, everything they had going on. Um, a lot of love was put into it, a lot of thought and a lot of care was put into it. But that meetup shirt is definitely something special. That is definitely the best one in terms of the Steve collection that came out. And I hope we see more Steve shirts come out in the future. And I hope we have more celebrations of life for Steve. And this was just truly one of the best meetups I have ever gotten a chance to go to. And I'm super grateful for being able to attend and seeing everybody there and getting to spend all this time with all of you. To everyone I met there, like, you guys are the absolute best. And I hope to see you all real soon for sure. It was truly an amazing time.
Well, outstanding. Wish I could have been there, but I do agree with you that it looked appropriate, not just for Steve, but for the energy that Steve brought, how he went above and beyond as a just a person. And I think that he would have been happy. Maybe this will turn into an annual Hoboken meetup, and it'll be a pilgrimage for everybody to come back to Jersey in September. And yeah, maybe it'll happen again, but there will never be another first one. And so I'm glad you got to be there and have the experience with everyone.
Thank you, buddy. And I got to rep Wearable Fandom and Wear Mighty Things and
Yeah,
get to talk
baby.
to, yeah, baby, yeah. And I'm really grateful that you did FaceTime in and you got to talk with a bunch of insiders there and get to say hi to everyone. And that was
Yeah.
really cool and special. And you got to be a part of it in that form.
And So next month, we've got New York Comic Con. I think a lot of folks will be traveling into the big city, the Big Apple. We are going to have Staten Island Fest, where we are going to
Yeah,
drink
baby.
beer, maybe
Let's
eat
go.
slices on the Staten Island Ferry. We're going to let
Oh,
everybody
hell
know.
yeah. Yes.
We gotta like plan that out and let people know where to show up and how to get
we got to
there.
make the event page. We got this. We're going to do this.
Yeah, we gotta make it happen. There's also plenty of events that we're going to be doing. We're going to be covering the show and releasing videos similar to what we did for Comic-Con and for D23. So be on the lookout for those things. Our next episode will be a real deep dive in prep around New York Comic-Con, what we're going to be doing, a little bit more about the pizza tour of the boroughs that John's going to take me on. Sabaros and boroughs is kind of like a half rhyme. Sabaros. Sabaros.
We're not going to Sabaros. It's not happening.
All right.
It's not.
Right.
It's not. It's not. We're not going. We're not
All right.
going.
All right.
No Domino's, no Pizza Hut, no Little Caesars, none of that shit. All right. We're not going.
I don't understand. Here's one thing I don't understand. In San Francisco, there's so many great Mexican places where you can get food. Do you know how many Taco Bells there are in San Francisco? 2. How many Domino's and Papa John's are there in the New York, Manhattan, area?
Too many.
Yeah,
I don't know how
John,
many. There's too many.
New Yorkers order and eat Domino's pizza is my reaction. Because if they didn't, there would be no Domino's, just like there's no Taco Bell in San Francisco. What's your response to that?
I think if you see a New Yorker eating that shit, then I don't know what. I don't know who's doing that. I don't know. Nobody in my house, my family.
All right.
That. We're not.
I get it. I'm just saying.
No one in my family is ordering that garbage. Somebody's eating it. It's not.
Somebody's
definitely
eating
ain't me.
Somebody's eating.
Somebody's did. You know what? Taurus. That's why it's there. Taurus.
Who's
Taurus?
Oh, tourists.
Tourists.
I thought you said Taurus, and I'm a Taurus, like the bull, like Taurus the bull.
No. Tourists come into New York City, and tourists come into New York City, and they want to see the restaurants that they know at home because that's what they feel comfortable with. That's who's eating
I do that.
Not with pizza though.
No, but I do that in Japan. I do that in Japan. Like there's places that I know from the U.S. and I'm like, oh, okay, it's probably going to be the same. They serve rice at McDonald's though in Japan. So
that's super interesting. Wow.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. So that's going to wrap it up for us. Want to remind you guys, you can drop us email at wearablefandom@gmail.com. And we are getting excited and getting ramped up for New York Comic Con. So stay tuned for all of our big plans, including a Facebook page for Staten Island Fest. We'll have to put that together, John.
You're going to do it, man.
All right. So we're signing off. Until next time, wear
mighty
things. All right. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye, everyone.